folks. I know it's been many, many a moon, but welcome back to the Omega Files podcast. Yes, where things get weird, things get ugly, and your mom could be out killing people with superpowers. It could happen, and it does. And Jessica Jones Series 2, we've gathered around to have a little talk about it tonight. Let me see. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it, so I'm going to go around. When I go ahead and say your name, go ahead and hop right into your thoughts on Jessica Jones Series 2. All right, let's start at the bottom this time. Let's start with Texas Tim.
Well, I thought it was okay. It had like the difficult second album syndrome, and I think that I'll have to get back with you.
And he'll be right back after this commercial interruption. All right, let's hop over to Graham.
Righty-ho. Yeah, for me, I can cover what Tim said there. Difficult second album syndrome. Kristen Ritter isn't the problem here. She's as good as ever. Wow, what the hell? Where do you go with this? Started off no bad. The intrigue with regards to the origin of IGH. Then by the time you hit episode 5, you're like, okay, something's not right here. And then we dive into the realm of Mummy Dearest. The main problem with this, I'm not even going to go as far as the whole female agenda. It was just a lack of an unbelievable villain. The mother being the big baddie got old really, really fast. Don't get me started on Trish. We'll get to her later. Malcolm, I've got plenty of time for him. He had somewhat of an interesting story out this season run. It was nice to see him fleshed out a wee bit. We'll see what happened to him in season 3. But overall, it's not as good as season 1. And Dave Tennant showing up in episode 11 was the best thing about this thing. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I think Kilgrave's episode was the highlight. Okay, let's hop over to AJ.
Yeah, hi there. This season started off quite strong for me. You know, you had mysterious murders, this company that was going around and giving people superpowers and whatnot. And then towards the middle of the season, it took a nosedive. And then towards the end of the season, it hit the ground in a fiery explosion. I didn't mind the whole fact that it was Jessica's mum that was going around, spoiler, killing people. I mean, to me, that didn't matter to me. But the fact that she had stronger powers than her daughter as well doesn't bother me because she had more surgeries done and so on. I agree that Tennant showing up was probably one of the best parts of the season. They should actually had him just scattered throughout the episodes, you know, walking past in the background or standing off to the side, just barely seeing him. Even if it wasn't him, just a lookalike would have been fine. That way, it would have led up to that episode where Jessica loses her shit and sorry, didn't mean to swear. Loses her mind and, you know, just kills that guy. And out comes Kilgrave in full force, a la Dexter style. We'll get more into the little bits and pieces that were right and wrong with this, but yeah, other than that, it was just, it was like the stock market, up and down.
Oh yeah, and the cray. Okay, William.
I'm gonna have to agree with it. I'm gonna say like a little. It's hard to do a better second season than the first season, considering the source material wasn't mostly the main thing that was happening in the comics was the Kilgrave, and of course later on her marriage to Luke Cage. That's in the comics like that. You're not gonna have that in the TV series yet because we don't know how long Netflix will be doing this, considering that merger with Disney, Fox, and all that. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen with that. So we deal with that down the road. The beginning of the season was great. You see her still doing investigation, still needing a drink in the morning and a drink in the evening to ease her day. I got to give props that this season gave better character to Malcolm. I liked the way he developed during the whole season, that he was just helping her. And then he see him in the computer. Then of course he was able to work, deal with a situation for Hogarth. So it's pretty good that his character built up. And then of course it was sad in a way that he no longer with Jessica, but this, she did brought this upon herself. And hopefully if they do another season, that we could see more of him, what he could develop more into. As for we're gonna have to deal with Patsy Walker. This not. I was shocked how they developed this character for this season because seeing in the beginning and the big revelation that she was an abused child. By the time she became more famous like that, nothing was going for her. Like we never saw we heard she was dealing with drinking problems and drug problems, but we never ever seen or heard did she ever go to see a therapist to deal with being a molested child. So we never got into that. And then of course the only time that anything was confronted about it was with Jessica was with her dealing with the director, and Jessica punched the car. So we never seen any you see revelation out of that alone. And of course seeing of how she wanted her own superpowers to be like her sister like that. They didn't really develop that very well, because if it would have been mentioned, even her in her thoughts saying, I want to have superpowers, but I don't want to feel the way I was when I was a kid, that would have been more acceptable. But the way it made it look like she was jealous of Jessica having power and she had nothing except for money and fame and almost and a fiance. And I'm like, wow, that really screwed that up, because if you would have dealt with the past and knowing and that eating her up so much that she didn't get married, she lost her job, she didn't care about her money like that, it would have made her character much better. But it made her unlikable. I know in the revelation at the end that she does develop some powers like that was a good thing, but you need to do more for this character for us to accept her like that, because the way they did it this season, I didn't like her. And that's not. And I'm not saying the actress is a bad actress. She does a great job, but the writer got to fix that real fast, because that makes no sense. And then those of us who read the comics knowing that Patsy Walker is Hellcat, so that's going to be weird that how they're going to do this. Jessica herself, I like the way again the way she dealt with this season. Now, of course, the Purple Man Kilgrave appearing in episode 11, I agree with AJ. They should have done that little by little during the episode, just a minute, a second or two here, second or two there, and then the episode that he appeared in would have been a great throughout the season, because the way it looks like that one episode alone was the best thing that happened, and that's a sad thing, because there was other circumstances during the season that stood out, but that one episode itself stood out as the best. That's like, wow, that's messed up. As for the revelation that her mom was a killer, I don't know. I'm a little bit, like they said, like she has more powers due to the fact that she had longer treatment, because we saw how badly burned she was like that. So that's why you can see how stronger she is than Jessica. But and then of course we had the little cameos like from the early episode of the Wizard, who is a comic book character from the Golden Age, and stuff like that. And the scientist that was doing all these experiments, he's another comic book character that fought against Spider-Woman. So that stood out pretty good like that. But as a whole, there's too many gaps and too many I don't know the right word to say
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, you can say that. There's too many cooks in the kitchen that you don't do the a flow for the whole episode like that, because you're jumping around too many times. And that's how come that one episode with Kilgrave stood out as the best like that. Hopefully, if they do a season 3 and they do it on Netflix, some of this stuff can be fixed easily, and and we can see what's going on with other characters like that.
Yep, I can see that going on. Okay, Texas Tim, now you're back with us. Go on ahead.
Well, yeah, if you could have Trish get hit by a bus in the first episode of next season, that would be great. Because I agree with William, they really wrecked her character in this series. She's completely unsympathetic, and it's all me, and she wants her cray. And it's like it's just I can't believe they went down that road. I mean, I understand that they, want to develop the character and all that. At some point, she's going to become this Hellcat, I guess. But I mean, to make her so repugnant, I mean, in a way, I mean, because and you know what? I don't agree with it. I mean, okay, so she was slightly abused when she was 15. I know there's no excuse for that. I'm not making one. I'm just saying that for that to make her as messed up in the head as she supposedly is, I don't believe it for a minute. she's had nothing but privilege her whole life. So for her to just throw all that away because she wants superpowers, and all she does is treat people badly. I mean, at the end of the series, she shoots her best friend's mother. I mean, how is she going to walk back from that? So, I mean, so she can catch her phone with a foot. Oh, big superpower.
Way.
What's next? Hacky sack. Yeah, I think that was a big problem. I think the series lacked a true villain as well, because you're supposed to feel sorry for Jessica's mom, because she was also given no choice and given these things to do, and is actually a murderer. I think that Jessica was a bit overshadowed throughout, because in a way, by making Trish the villain so late in the series, or all this is going on under Jessica's nose, and that just makes it seem like Jessica's not as smart as she's supposed to be. You know what I mean? She should have noticed that something was going on with Trish before they got that far. And I also think that probably David Tennant was brought in so late just to keep you watching, because about that point, I was just like, man, I've had enough of this. So it's like, okay, we'll bring in Kilgrave. That'll keep them on their seats, you know? So, yeah, I'd say it wasn't horrible, but it was pretty mediocre compared to the first series, which I thought was excellent. So, I mean, I think that they do need to work on that. They need to work on the characters. And, I mean, I don't know how they thought they could get away with that with the Trish, because she had everything. She had everything, and she throws it all away. So, make of that what you will.
Alrighty. All right, Doctor Who commentator, go on ahead.
Well, pretty much everyone has pretty much stopped on everything I could have said for the most part. Yeah, I mean, when it starts off, you have this whole thing with IGH, and you had the Wizard and all this, and all I'm thinking right there is, oh, great, so this is going to be a sort of espionage type series. There's going to be or more of a conspiracy type series. We're going to have all these different superpowered characters coming in. We're going to find out all about Jessica's origin and stuff. But that's really only the first 3 episodes of stuff. Then it comes to a mother, and my interest was slowly going down from that point. In fact, it was hard to stay awake, although that might be because I was just sleepy in general. But other than that, you also had characters which, frankly, were clearly irrelevant because no one else has talked about them. You've got the landlord, whose name I don't even remember. You have the other PI, whose name I don't even remember. You could have literally done the entire series without him. He was just completely pointless. I think I said before.
The point of that, Pete. Oh, you mean Kai?
I'm still going through my initial thoughts here. What else to go? Actually, what else to go through? But in spite of what everyone's been saying about Trish, I don't really mind much of it. As far really, the end of it with Trish is actually what saved a bit of it for me, because of her shooting her mother. That automatically made me think, wow, this is going to really change the dynamic of the next series. As for David Tennant, yeah, he was great in that episode. What annoyed me a bit was that I really thought he should have been, I know budget-wise they couldn't have done it, but I would have rather liked the idea of him being a lingering thought consistently in every episode, for Jessica constantly talking to her, she's constantly trying to deal with Kilgrave. And if there's one other positive I could see for this, it is actually just one scene really with Hogarth, and it's a moment where she realizes that she's been tricked, and that woman has now stolen all of her good possessions. And there's just that scene of her standing in her living room, with camera panning, and it's one of those bits of acting without acting. She doesn't say anything initially, and then she just breaks down in tears. That was just one of the most beautiful scenes I'd ever seen. But was Jessica Jones a great series? No, it was an okay series. But as I said, how can you really follow a villain from Kilgrave? And as we've been going through this, all I've been thinking is, an individual villain you can't really follow on from Kilgrave, but an organization like IGH, boy, if you actually focused the whole thing on IGH, it would have been so much better.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. It started off really, really well. It did. It had, grabbed my attention, had me going, oh, wow, we're going to find out some really good stuff. And then it just got there, hit the crescendo, and wham, like a snowball heading for hell. It's just, whoa, it just really just dropped off. It wasn't until the Kilgrave episode I was like, okay, I perked back up, and I was like, wow, okay, this I can get into. The fact that she's having this struggle with this representation of the dark side of herself, in the form of Kilgrave. But I agree, he should have been there, like just maybe even an afterthought or something like that, like a little bit of a scene here, scene there, that would have built up to this. A little bit of more foreshadowing would have really, really hit it on the head, I think. But oh, heck, the whole Hogarth storyline, as far as I'm concerned, was a waste of time. Unless it's building up to something that's going to happen maybe in another series. I'm sitting there going, why are we wasting Hogarth gets ALS, big deal. Oh, Hogarth's now vulnerable. Who gives a damn? Hogarth gets ripped off. What does this have to do with what's going on here? But the thing was, though, when they came in and they showed the boxes with the ashes and all that, and then it reminds you that, she was not in the car alone, that she was in there with her mother, her father, and her brother. I was like, oh, shit. Because after they said, they built monsters and they showed the burnt up, who later turns out to be her mom, I'm like, okay. It's got, after they did that, I'm like, okay, it's going to be, two people. It's way too big to be her brother. So it's got to be mom or dad. Now, no disrespect to the actress who plays her mom. At first, I thought it was going to turn out to be her dad in drag because of the wigs and things, but kind of throwing everybody off. But I have to agree, they needed a better villain. I really lost interest in the Mommy Dearest storyline that was going on. Yeah, sure, it was great. We had Rebecca De Mornay in there as Trisha's mom, who turns out to be a real bitch.
Still is, yeah.
And yeah, but the thing is, at that point, I didn't care. I was like, big hoopty ding dong shit. Now I can kind of see maybe where they were going with Trish, because if I remember right, wasn't Trish also affected by Kilgrave towards the end of season 1?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe it was a combination of what happened to her when she was younger, and the fact that Kilgrave took her over so easily and manipulated her, that maybe led her to this vulnerability that she suddenly wants these superpowers. But that's not the vibe I got. It just
they didn't bring that up. If they would have brought that up, it would have been more sympathetic. But they didn't. That's like Tim said. That's like Tim said.
With all his victims.
Yeah.
He made Jessica Jones. What do you call it? When you lose your memory, an insomniac for the first half of the last series. I mean, she didn't know what had happened to her. And that was half the fun, was learning what happened to her. He was like that with everybody. So I don't think Trish was anything. This is what I don't like, is that Trish is somebody that has everything but wants more. Like, I mean, she's just greedy, and she'll do anything to get Jessica's powers. And that's what
I made it look like. That's what I made it look like. Like that she's greedy, but there's another. She's been victimized as a kid and caused by the Purple Man. Malcolm was victim of the Purple Man. He became a drug addict. But look what came out of him. He became a good investigator. Well, forget about that. Everybody in the whole run has 6 in one episode. The other.
Usually, if they had actually maybe focused on what had happened with her in the last season and then added it on to that. The thing is, the way it comes off, though, I agree with Tim. It's more like she's just a spoiled brat bitch.
You know what? You're right. They've over-egged the pudding when it comes to Trish. Now, maybe they're setting up for some type of, redemption storyline down the road. But at this point, you just want her to die. I mean, yeah, look at me. I can balance my phone on my foot. What the ding-dong shit.
Okay, DWC, got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Graham was kind of getting into it earlier. I was asking, what was the point of that PR? Because honestly, I felt you could have done the entire series without him. There was just 0 point to him.
I think it might have been to show a contrast to what she was doing, because there she is being all sloppy and drunk with hers and not really getting much done because of all the stuff that's going on around her. And here's a guy that's giving her competition. So, I mean, that might have been where, or maybe it was just somewhere because doesn't Malcolm join him at the end?
Yeah, that was it. That's where Malcolm ends up at the end of the series. So.
Yeah, Chang. That guy, Price Chang. I thought there was going to be a lot more meat to that, but there really wasn't, was he?
No, unless he appears on other Netflix shows or the next season of Jessica Jones as a competition investigator hired by Hogarth and other people. I mean, they're gonna have to. That this character was a total waste too, unless they do something like that.
That was my point. There was absolutely no point to a story. It didn't really serve the story in any way, so I didn't really see any point to it.
I'll give you some slack on that, DWC, because you spent 2 episodes knocked out in a bathtub.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of the point of a 13-episode format. You can leave loose ends untied because that way they can come back at it later or maybe in another show. So, I mean, I think that's why they do that.
I think that's, like Brian alluded to, I think that's what they're going to end up doing with Hogarth. There must be something more to this because she's obviously ditched her firm now and she still has the Rand account. So
she took all her accounts. All her accounts.
Hang on. Iron Fist season 2 is coming around the corner, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, AJ, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2 things. I saw a bit of a parallel between Daredevil with Foggy and Malcolm in Jessica Jones a bit. You know, how they both work with the hero for a while and then they diverge and go off to their separate thing, you know, with Hogarth, Foggy, and Malcolm with Price. 2, I think Jessica Jones's mum should have died when the car accident happened in the when they rescued those people from the fiery car accident.
Oh, the explosion! Yeah,
that's where she should have died. That's where that story should have ended, and then Jessica should have kept moving on with trying to get herself back on track. You know, trying to finish up the season because it just went too far with the mum story, like all the way up to the last episode. There was no point to it, as far as I was concerned. Yeah, that's that thought for the moment.
Do you think that maybe their focus audience was the other sex? I mean, like, we're all a bunch of dudes, and maybe we just didn't get the emphasis.
You know what? You might be right, Tim. They might have been focusing for a totally different audience, but at the same time, I'm willing to give the writers a wee bit of slack on this because, like Will always alludes to, they can't really go by the source material because after the whole Purple Man alias thing, it's like we're off en route to Infinity Wars, and she's not involved in that. So they've got to come up with something different to at least plug in a storyline for a season. This is what they come up with, and apparently we didn't like it. So.
Okay, DWC has got his hand up. Go ahead.
It kind of in conjunction with something AJ was just kind of ending off on. I mean, honestly, I was kind of losing interest in the later episodes to the point that I was kind of half asleep. But from what I can remember, I certainly remember the whole thing with Jessica and her mother pretty much on a complete road trip. I can only assume trying to cross a border or something, because no one would go that fast without trying to cross the border. But am I right that it pretty much went to, we have to get past the border, then they or the mother at least pretty much just gave up after that, making the whole thing somewhat pointless before she gets shot in the head?
After the cop called, that's basically what happened, yeah.
What was the whole point of running for the border then?
Okay, William, get your hand up. Go ahead.
The funny thing is about the other character, Oscar the Super, that came in that.
Oh, Toy.
Yeah. He was helping because of his illegal activities and making those fake IDs and all that stuff. So he's not a bad character that could come back like that. But as for romance for her, I should not have done that. They should have just been had tension between them, not freaking sex.
It was very predictable, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what made it predictable. But if they would have kept them just them, her asking him like for the help. And of course, them arguing with each other like that because he doesn't like superheroes like that until she saved his son. You know, then they should not have done the sex thing. But Jesus, man, she must have had like 3 to 4 partners in this season alone, man. What the hell? It made no sense.
Hey,
I know. Some of the episodes they got a bunch of years apart. It takes place like when Jessica was younger and was going to school and all that, you know, like that, you know, and that's how she met that boyfriend that was killed by her mom, and then of course the little quickie that she had in the bathroom, and then of course with the super like that. I'm like, geez, give me a break, man. I mean, get the story flowing. You don't have to stop right there like that, man. Same thing with Trish in the bathroom. With Malcolm, with the guy she's engaged with, like, give me a break, man. It wasn't making the story flow.
Yeah, yet later on, she's lecturing Malcolm about being a man-ho.
Yeah. I'm like, look at this.
Okay, hand up. So go ahead, Grant.
No, I was just picking well up on the Supers at Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about him, man. As much as he served his purpose here, he was the forger. But I really think they're setting out for something in the road, man. He's a red shirt next season, if you ask me.
He's doomed.
Well, you got to give him prop, even though it wasn't him that he drew that painting of Jessica. That was not him. That was the same guy who does the cover for American Gods and the Jessica Jones cover. That's David Mack.
There you go.
That's who did the paintings. When I saw it, like, hey, I know who that is. So I was like shocked. You got a fake character taking credit.
Okay, so anything else, guys?
Trying to think.
Well, I like to have when Malcolm left, he was able to finish the apartment. He fixed the walls and all that, and painted it, put everything nice and neat, and left the key right there. So like that's that for him. So I would like to see him come back, whether just in Jessica Jones or other shows. I would like to see him come back.
I would say that I read some reviews and they were actually pretty good, and I was kind of surprised because I wanted to see what some of the not people like us, but like professional review writers for professional magazines or whatever, and they actually were pretty positive about it, which I just wonder how they're going to get back from this next series. They really need to take a whole different approach, though, because this seemed to just kind of have a situation where you're just wallowing in self-pity or whatever the whole show seemed like. And it's like they need to move past that and get like a proper villain, somebody that's actually terrifying and does terrible things like Kilgrave was doing. That's what they need to put her up against. Because otherwise, again, I stress that I think by having all this stuff going on under her nose, it just kind of makes her look a bit unintelligent. And I know she was busy with her mom and all that drama, but it seems like she should have caught on to what was going on with Trish before that. Yeah.
Which is exactly why I said the villain should have been the organization, IGH.
It should have been. That would have made more sense.
Or the military.
And then also, even then they had characters like the guy that was doing all this stuff back in the day, who was friends with the mom. And then he suddenly just quickly gets killed off. I think in episode 12 was it, just because they're running out of time. It's like, oh well, I'll just blow myself up.
Yeah.
I mean, how convenient was that? It's just like, in other words, this could have all been planned out a lot better. He should have been the villain, in fact.
He could have been the villain that had some, and besides the mom who could have ran away from him, he could have other people who he modified to fight Jessica like that. Because remember, we don't know what IGH is from. Are they their own thing? Are they a spin-off of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something, or another government agency that they're trying to create superhumans?
Yeah, who the hell knows, man. But Simpson showed back up after playing such a prominent role in season 1 to get killed off in episode 3. Go figure.
Yeah. That was a shock too. Like, wow, they bumped them off quick.
All right, DWC had their hand up first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had my hand up, but it was for exactly what Graham just said. I was going to say, yeah, Simpson came in, and that was kind of surprising that they just brought him in to kill him off in one episode. That was actually no, he was in the first episode, but he got killed off in the next, or maybe it was the third. I don't know, but yeah, to bring him back just to kill him off very quickly, I found a bit shocking.
Okay, AJ.
Yeah, two things. I love the phrase that was used towards the beginning of this season. With great power comes great mental illness. Because when you think about it, when you think about it, anyone who has powers in the Marvel universe as they're portraying it doesn't really have a stable life or a stable mental thought process when you think about it. And two, Jessica's mom's name is actually an anagram of her detective agency's name. Her mum's name is Alyssa, which is an anagram of Alias. So,
okay, Texas Tim.
Alyssa has 2 S's, doesn't it?
True, yeah.
But anyway, another thing that was disappointing about Trish too was that once she got geeked out on that whatever inhaler, did she not know it was going to run out at some point? She was just acting like, oh, I can just take a hit and I'll be a superhero all day long. And it's like she didn't know, she didn't realize it was going to run out. I mean, how blonde can you get?
Tim, you know what? You just took the words right out of my mouth. See, when she went to take that hit in episode 9 and she realised there was nothing left, I virtually fist pumped the air.
You're like, yes! Oh, did Snookums run out of its drug?
It's like,
Poor
what are you going to
baby.
do? Take the inhaler down to the local drugstore and get a refill on the top?
She tried to do that. That's how
She
dumb
did, yeah.
She went to
Some
the
medical
government and said, "Hey,
yeah.
I need this. Can you fix it?"
I love it when, the pharmacist or whoever it was she passed it on to gives her the rundown saying, well, it had this, we couldn't even identify this, couldn't even
Liver
identify.
failure,
Yeah, and by the way, if you keep using this, you can end up with a liver failure and a bunch of other stuff. It's like nothing big.
No.
Oh, but yeah, I almost jumped. I almost fell out of my seat laughing when she hit that thing in episode 9. It was empty. I was like, duh.
That's what I don't know why they thought that we were ever going to feel sorry for her. She just continued to make an ass out of herself the whole series, and it was like she just got dumber and dumber. And it's like, okay, why are we supposed to feel for her? Another thing I think they made a mistake. Sorry, but was that as somebody with so much privilege, who has everything handed to her. She's a child star. She's a singer. Now she's a talk show host that everybody knows. They see her face on the billboards and whatnot. So why are we supposed to feel that it's okay for her to be that greedy? I mean, they should have went with somebody like the bum chick being in that.
Nurse.
The chick that was living on the streets. That would be more believable anyway, that somebody had been trodden on their whole existence and wanted something better, some power. Trish just comes across as being needy and greedy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But again, as I said earlier, unless they've got something planned out, where you've got some type of redemption storyline down the road, it's a question of how big a hole they dug this character.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to do.
Emma, the actress, she's done a bang-up job. Now, if the writer's intention was for us to despise the character, she's done a bang-up job here. If it wasn't me, big hole to get her out of, folks.
Yep. I'm trying to find out how they're going to fix this character for next season. I mean, it's going to need a big redemption for her.
Ooh, I just double-checked it. Yeah, they did spell Alyssa Jones here, Alisa.
Ooh. All right.
There you go.
Kind of a nifty little throw in there. Okay, I didn't catch that either. That's pretty neat. Because normally when you think Alyssa, it's like either Alyssa or something like that. But this is a weird spelling of it. So yeah, like I said, it just didn't have the same impact as the first series to me. It just didn't catch me as the first one did.
No.
But the thing is, another bit of foreshadowing. Well, then again, we've already seen what happened. Where towards the end of the series, you notice they're tearing down all the little Trisha posters now. It's like, duh, you just flushed your whole life down the toilet for superpowers, for crying out loud. It's like you had a world-famous journalist who wanted to frickin' marry you. You had your own talk show. You had notoriety. You had integrity. Yeah, now it's all gone.
Oh, yeah, I got a question.
So have I.
Yeah, about Trisha's fiance. He was on the phone a couple of times.
Exactly. There you go.
Who was he talking to? Like that? Like he was like watching her like that.
All right. It turns out that the illicit phone call, like I said, because I'm sitting there going, my ears perked up and all. Turns out that was him arranging the top secret marriage party.
Oh, for God's sake!
So while we were sitting here thinking he's going to double deal her, he was actually making the arrangements for that, little pop
proposal. Oh, fuck.
Is what that was.
And I thought I missed something.
So that was a nice little bit of subterfuge.
I thought he was up to something. Or the revelation was when they showed them in a combat situation that it was fake. That was fake. It was a green screen. That's what I thought it was. That would be one or the other. I wasn't thinking he was.
Okay, AJ had his hand up first. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. One more thing. There's that scene where Jessica goes to confront Trisha's mum about pissing off Trish or whatever, and Trish's mum goes, "I'm living in the present and this and that," and she's surrounded by Patsy posters. Her phone's got a Patsy ringtone. Like it's something from like 20 plus years ago, but she's still living in the present.
Okay, DWC, your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's only because William and Graham were talking, and I was just trying to say none of you actually noticed that the phone call was just to arrange the wedding, because I picked that up the moment the wedding happened.
Yeah, I didn't figure that out either until after the little pop-up marriage happened, that's what he was calling about. Okay, Graham?
Just two quick minute points for me. Towards the end of the season, when she goes into the convenience store and stops the guy from being robbed, and she goes to leave with a bottle of whiskey, you going to pay for that? I just thought that was funny. The wee guy came out across the counter and started beating, kicking hell at the robber after she knocked him out with a whiskey bottle. And shout out to Turk showing up again to assist Hogarth. Thus far, the only fella to crop up in every Blinken series thus far. Ever since Rosanna Dawson didn't show up in The Punisher. So keep on talking. We'll see him in Cage season 2.
That's right. Yeah, he popped up first back all the way in Daredevil, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a Daredevil character. But he's been around in every show.
Mm-hmm.
So hang in there, Turk.
Yeah. He's the John Ratzinger of the Marvel CU. Yeah.
Okay, so interesting series, but at the same time, like I said, it just didn't grab me towards the end. I think the only reason I hung on to the whole thing, was the Kilgrave episode. Otherwise, like I said, I'm already making my Series 3 prediction. Hang on, I'm having a Nostradamus moment here. Why do I see Trish as the villain in the Series 3?
I think that's too predictable.
Well, then again, like I said, to me, it was either, it was Mom being the killer was kind of predictable because, once they smack the ashes down, then they go, we created monsters, and you see this big burnt person. That narrowed it down to Mom or Dad.
Well, but that's the thing. If this was predictable, would they go predictable again next season? You just don't know.
Yeah, she's too much of a villain this series for her to be a villain in Series 3. I still think she should get killed off in Episode 1. But,
yeah. Give her the, what's his name? What was his name again? Simpson or?
Oh, Simpson. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, give her the Simpson treatment next series.
Happen off screen.
I hope not. I do like the Hellcat combo character, but they gotta fix her up big time. But as for a villain for the next season, look, either Kilgrave don't have to return, because in the comics he did come back from a broken neck, or the first appearance of Kilgrave kids who have the same powers as him. So that's that have to deal with that. Or IGH, the secret of IGH, gonna have to come out. Who they are, who financed them, and all that nonsense.
Weapon X.
Well,
they could link it to the military with the whole Punisher thing.
Yeah, they could do that. I'm saying that could be that. I mean, somebody maybe the Punisher can make an appearance like that to help her out. So that I don't see why not. But it is a Netflix series, and you could have crossovers. So.
Actually, I was kind of hoping that it was going to turn out to be her dad and Drag, because wouldn't it have been great as she's going around twisting these guys' heads off, they start playing turn to the left, turn.
I mean, going by this series' politics, I wouldn't have been surprised if they'd went that way. I mean, to be honest, they should have probably. It wouldn't have been unexpected.
Yeah, it got a little too mommy dearest. I halfway expected her to grab Jessica towards the end and go, "No wire hangers."
Good night, Jesse.
But it was a good revelation to find out that her parents wasn't really getting along like that, and she was on a divorce because her dad was being such a control freak like that. I mean, he didn't let her drive like that, and she was a teacher, so that those moments stood out like that. But I think they should have got more into it for her to understand Jessica's mom. But the way they did it, again, I think either they stretched it out too fast in what little episode they used her, or they didn't put more info into it when we needed to find out more stuff.
Again, they had the same problem with Alyssa as they did with Trish. When it came time to try and elicit some sympathy for her, it was too far late in the game.
Yeah.
When she was getting abused with the guard, and you're like...
Yeah, after she befriended and killed that guard, and that was predictable too. And after she killed the cop, that was kind of like, wow, there's no coming back now for you. Yeah. So, I mean, AJ's right. They should have got rid of her a couple of episodes prior, so you'd have had the aftermath of that as far as Jessica was concerned. I mean, by dragging it out to the last minute, it just is like, okay.
We're on the big wheel.
I agree with the opinion that sometimes you don't need 13 episodes to tell a series. You can do maybe 10.
Because considering the police thinks that Jessica's the one that shot her mom, and because Trish left her the gun and walked away like that. So the cops think that she did it for they don't arrest her like that. So even though it was a smart idea by Trish, but it wasn't the way it looked like it wasn't thought out right.
But one thing I can't agree on, I think the best character development over this entire series has to go to Malcolm, because by the time you get towards the end, there's that scene where he confronts one of Hogarth's partners, in that bar, that chocolate bar.
Yep.
And instead of, he actually plays this dude to the point that he's got him convinced it's not Hogarth, it's the other partner that's trying to, and then gets him to cough up the stuff on the other partner. That is really good, manipulating there. So he's really learned his stuff over the course of this series. I have to give him that.
Yep.
Okay, anything else before we go ahead and rate this sucker and put it to bed?
I just hope they can improve next season. Yep.
Same here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Roll 20 seconds. Bring it.
Okay, let's start at the bottom again. Let's start with Texas Tim out of 10. How do you rate Jessica Jones Series 2?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Graham?
I'm hoping for better next time.
Same here.
I may not disagree with just for Malcolm, I'll get a wee bit more. I'll get a 7.5. Can't go any higher.
Okay, AJ?
I'm going to have to give it a 7 too. Yeah, it needs to be a bit better. Hopefully next time.
All right, William?
I'm going to give it a 7.5, but hopefully the next season they bring back a much better new villain or return the Purple Man. Because we need more action into it, considering Jessica has power like that. Not uncontrollable, but something really good. And show more of her being a private investigator. I like when she does that like that. But she can go into areas that not normal PIs can do like that. So I want to see more of that. So I'm going to stick with my 7.5.
Okay, Dr. Commentator.
It was an average season, but wasn't bad, so a 6.
Yeah, I'm going to give it like a 6.5. It's just there was a lot of stuff in here that could have just been left out or done a lot better. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out why we needed an entire flashback sequence to go, look, Mommy killed my first boyfriend, and why I had to be subjected to the freaking cray-cray to figure out that Trish.
Oh, God.
We already knew Trish was a spoiled, up-and-coming child star. We didn't need to hear all that. And to me, that
She
wasted.
was a whore.
Yeah,
Yep.
And then also the unnecessary Weinstein, confrontation, which was what, to me, that whole point of that director thing was about. It was just, let's cop in on a recent event and we'll throw it in there. And basically, you might as well just called him Harvey Weinstein and got it over with.
Hashtag me too, whore. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stick with a 6.5. I'm hoping they do a lot better next series. Well, folks, join us next week. And yes, we will be back. Well, actually, no, that's right. Next weekend is Easter. Now, you're correct. Yeah. So the weekend after that, we'll be back with Gotham by Gaslight. We've been meaning to do that one for a while, and I really want to get it done because I've got to rewatch it because it's been like a month or two since I've watched it now. And also, I was focusing more on getting stuff done on the audio series, and I just put things back and put it back, and then lost track of it. So on the April 8th, I believe we'll be doing
7.
Is it the 7th or the 7th?
7 is a Saturday, 8th is a Sunday.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so it'll be the 7th. You're right. So on the 7th, we'll be doing Gotham by Gaslight. Join us then. So until then, take care. Ta-ta. Enjoy the rest of your day. And do not adjust your sets. I am bold.
Me too.